I think we need to also share a little bit about booking your cruise.
That's true. First thing I want to share is that we have a fantastic travel agent, and we certainly worked with her throughout it all, right, to help us plan, and not just this trip, but for many trips.
Some people think that you have to pay extra because you are working with a travel agent, but the reality is you don't pay anything more for the trip, and in fact, they can actually help get you the best deal.
Yeah, and she's helped us many times to even get special things, right? Like
Special treatment.
special treatment, which we wouldn't have done if we booked it on our own, right?
For our river cruise, we needed to pay in full 1 year prior to the cruise. So having cancellation insurance with something like that was very important to us.
And Angela, our travel agent, was also able to help us with the insurance for that as well. So that was good. Hey?
Once we paid the down payments on the cruises, we were given access to their website and sign into their app. On there, we could see all kinds of information about packages, etc., about the cruise.
Yeah, and just to come back a little bit, that before we actually committed to that cruise with that down payment, she was able to put like a little hold on it, I guess. And it gave us, I'm trying to remember, a week, about a week.
A few weeks, maybe.
A week for sure, that before we had to actually make a commitment, right? So it was kind of like holding our spot, which was good to know, right? For us to clear up and make sure everything was going to work out. But then it was, I think we had to do maybe 3 or 4 months prior to the cruise that we actually had to make sure the full payment was in place, right? Dawn mentioned about the website, and they have a wealth of information on there, and they even have about, suggestions of what to pack, right?
Yeah, something you want to keep in mind when you're booking a cruise is to have a cushion before and after the cruise. What I mean by that is to be where the cruise is starting, be there at least 1 or 2 days before in case you run into any issues. Lately, there's been a lot of issues with flying. I know last year there was a big computer glitch, and this year is there's some issues too. But especially if you're flying to get there, and the same at the end of the cruise. If you're flying, if you're booking your flight back, you want to probably book 1 or 2 days after the cruise is supposed to end, so you have that cushion.
Yeah. As we mentioned a little bit earlier, that we spent a little bit of time in Rome before we went on our cruise, and our cruise actually started in Athens, but we also wanted to go to Venice, right? And so we spent a couple of days there. So would you do anything differently this time?
Well, when we flew from there to Athens the day before, we didn't have any issues, but it might have been nice to even have 1 more day before the cruise started to be able to spend a little more time there.
Yeah, and we were fortunate because that everything went smoothly, but next time, right? For next time, maybe do it a little bit.
Yeah.
Add a little bit more cushion.
Yeah, because there were some strikes scheduled in Europe, and we didn't know what might happen to us, but all went well.
All went well. So the packing tips on the website are very helpful, but we thought it might be also good to share with you some of the additional tips that we have found useful or helpful for us on our trip, on our cruise. So to start with, Dawn and I, we only brought a carry-on and a personal item onto the plane. And what was interesting is we actually went on 3 different flights, and we had to check the measurements for all 3 flights because they were all actually, we differed. So we made sure we went with whatever was the
least.
Right. And made sure we had the baggage accordingly to that. So something that I have been doing for a little bit, because we do fly to go see our kids from time to time and try to limit what we bring, is the travel pillows, that we take the stuffing out and use that to put some clothes in, right?
Yeah.
And just all that little bit extra helps.
Yeah, because we didn't have a big suitcase. We also knew we needed to do some laundry along the way. So we brought some of those laundry sheets. They're like almost like a piece of paper.
Yeah.
4 inches by 4 inches, and we cut them up so we could do smaller loads with them. We also brought magnetic hooks and a travel clothesline. I thought for sure they were going to question us in security. Why do we have magnets? But they didn't. Other people must do it too.
So I had read somewhere prior to us going on the cruise that the cabin rooms are with metal. And so that's what made it's like, okay, well, we'll get those magnets then to be able to do that. But lo and behold, the room that we're in, the walls aren't magnetic or metal, I should say, the water metal, but the roof is, like the ceiling is.
Yeah.
So we were able to hook up the magnets there then. So that worked out.
We did a lot of walking each day, pretty close to 20,000 steps a day. So having great walking shoes that are non-slip is a really great idea.
Yeah, thankfully I packed 2 good walking shoes, because even though they say make sure you have 1 pair, I ended up still having blisters with my 1 pair. So it was good to have that alternative of another good walking shoe. So next time I would think I would alternate right from get-go between the 2 pairs of shoes so that I don't end up even with a blister for that, right?
Another thing we did was pack Ziploc sandwich bags. I know that sometimes cruises discourage it, but we did make some sandwiches each day that we went on an excursion. 1, to save money, but 2, quite often there would not have been time for us to eat at a restaurant, so they were pretty handy to have.
Yeah, and the one time when, with friends of ours, they went and ordered right at the restaurant, and I guess they even screwed up their order a little bit. That they had to wait, and they even didn't really get a chance to eat it right before we had to get back on the bus, and they missed part of the excursion with us. Like they missed walking
through the
town and that. So we just found that very helpful, that we didn't have to rely on finding something somewhere, right?
A water bottle is another great idea. There are some places that we went to that you can actually get fresh water for free at the city's water station, which is like, for example, in Rome, they had free water. There were water fountains almost every half hour you walked. There was another free, and the water just runs out of them forever. So we refilled our water bottles and carried on.
Yeah, and if you plan on going into the church, it's really important to make sure you have clothing with you that you're able to have your knees covered, both for male and female. So whether you're wearing a longer dress or longer shorts, that your knees are not covered and that your shoulders are covered. So I was making sure I had a little sweater with us, or wore a top that the sleeves covered my shoulders.
So it's a good point you bring up that, maybe research other countries, the countries that you're going to, what their dress codes are.
Yes. Yeah.
We know the churches have requirements, but some countries may require you to dress differently.
Yeah, that's very true. And we ran into a gentleman in the elevator, and he said that they weren't prepared for warm weather, right? And so here they had brought everything that was for if it was cold, and we've had phenomenal weather. It's been really warm, so I'm glad we've brought like the shorts and the tank tops type of thing. But we also, we brought stuff if it got cold. So the layering of the clothes is really important too, right?
Yeah.
So that you can enjoy the weather.
The other thing that we were happy to have packed with us was a portable battery charger so we could charge our phones when we were out on excursions.
Yeah, and I know I definitely used it all the time. And sometimes I even just used it on the ship too, because we're out and about all the time, right? So it was good to have.
Yeah. If there's something else that you feel is helpful to pack, and leave it in the comments below. One thing I was going to say is also check your cell phone carrier.
Oh yeah.
Package, I guess, and see what your charges might be if you're in a different country, or check to see where you're going and what's covered and what's not and what you can get. We happen to have a good coverage package that covers us in 125 plus countries, and
254.
and it worked out for us, so just check that out.
It worked out as long as we were on land, right?
Yeah.
So these CJs, the cellular package, is of no use.
We're in the middle of the Atlantic. I think that's where people packed warm clothes. When you say Atlantic Ocean, they think cold weather.
Right.
But we're in the southern part of the Atlantic Ocean, so
yeah,
it's warmer. It's 74 degrees or 25 when we wake up in the morning, which is just beautiful.
Yeah. So again, feel free to leave us a comment if there's something else that you make a suggestion for packing that we haven't talked about that was important for you too, right?
Yep. Give us some of your tips.
So we've shared a lot of information through this video, but I think right now what we want to do is maybe highlight the top 12 things that were pretty important to us, right, for this cruise. Ready?
Yeah.
Don, what do you think would be your number one?
Research. I think research is probably the most beneficial thing. Research everything, your temperature of the place you're going to at that time of the year, your clothing required, and
we watched a lot of YouTube videos, right? Like on the different places. We also asked ChatGPT a lot, right? Like in terms of what's there to see, right? So go ahead.
What's number 2 for you?
I'm gonna say use a travel agent. Angela was so helpful. I can't even imagine doing this trip without having had her input, yeah, and helping us. Like she answered questions. She helped us get ready for it, right? So I think that was a big thing for us.
We bugged her a lot, and I say bugged her. We had lots of questions, lots of wonderings, I guess. And I'm going to put a little plug in because it's the Travel World in Collingwood that we use, and Angela is our go-to person there. But a great outfit, and can't say enough about them.
Yes.
Number 3 would probably be buffer days, and that's buffering before and after your cruise, making sure you can get to your cruise on time and get back home afterwards. So
right. Yeah. Number 4, book excursions early. So after you've done your research and know what you want to do, make sure you prioritize and book early so you don't miss out on what you really want to do. That actually happened to us in Rome, that we thought we were booked into the Colosseum underground, and it did say on the ticket optional, but we were already lost out, right? Like it would already be like a half a year ahead, already booked in. So just double check, right, on that.
Number 5, countdown's on. Number 5 would be have cash on hand. You're going to run into situations where I know we ran into a couple who tried to use their credit card and it wouldn't work for whatever reason. Could be just that they're in a country that is not recognized by their card, or and they didn't have cash on them
For that country.
yeah. So yeah, it doesn't hurt to have a little bit of cash on hand and cover your back, I guess they say.
Yeah. And we had a bit of both, right? We always made sure that if we were in a bind, we had some cash available, but otherwise we did both, right?
And we never had any issues.
Number 6, I'm going to say, is strategize around packing. So if you, stay with 2 or 3 different colors, you'll see that in our videos, that you can mix and match them, right? Think about layering, that we talked about that in terms of being able to adapt for the cold or the warmth. And also the shoes, right? So make sure that you've got room in that case for your shoes.
Yeah. Number 7, plan to wash. Doesn't mean just showering. Pack less and bring along laundry sheets, magnets, and portable clotheslines you can wash as you need it. They do have laundry services on the ships, but in our opinion, they're fairly pricey. So yeah, we prepared.
Yeah, and a good thing we did prepare, because we accidentally forgot to bring some socks, right?
Mm-hmm. I don't know about we, but I.
Number 8, bring a water bottle. So if you don't drink alcohol like me, very rare that I do, then you can always have some fresh water to drink throughout the day, right?
Yeah. Number 9, use the cruise ship app. It was so handy to track our activities. We could also communicate with each other without both needing the Wi-Fi. There is a section for activities listed on there, and you can actually program them into your calendar, so you can just kind of pick the ones you think you're interested in and go through, and that day it gives you a little reminder and you can decide whether you want to do it or not.
Yeah. Number 10, carry a portable charger with you so that your phone never runs out, especially in those moments when you really want that great shot, right?
Number 11 would say carry a pocket video and photo device. If we had just our cell phones, they would be full by now. We've been using our pocket camera for videoing a lot. And if we happen to forget anything, we have it on video. So there's been an overload of history on our trip, and I'd hate to not revisit that and forget.
Yeah, exactly. And number 12, be flexible and have fun. So sometimes on a cruise ship, the captain has to make some decisions, right, to change the course of where the cruise ship is going, and it's out of safety, right, that they do make those decisions. We had that situation, right, Don?
Yeah.
On this trip?
Yeah, we were supposed to go to Lisbon, Portugal, and there was an issue at the dock. There was a strike at the docks, I believe, and we got rerouted to Cadiz, and we absolutely loved Cadiz.
Yeah, and it would be in a place that we didn't even know really existed,
Yeah,
right?
never heard of it before.
And boy, it certainly was beautiful. I absolutely loved Cadiz, and I can see us going back there one day too, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you never know, right? So be flexible and enjoy the adventure of what might come forth from it, right?
Yeah, have fun with whatever life throws at you, because it's life is too short, and sometimes part of the adventure is going with the flow.
And going where the road leads us, right?
That's right.
So if you enjoyed this video,
Give it a like. Remember to subscribe so that you can join us on our traveling adventures with us, the Steels.
And so until next time,
Cheers.
Cheers.
We
We
don't-
forgot the glass.
Yeah, we don't have a drink of that. So,
She brought the water bottle over.
we're actually in our room in the our stateroom, they call it. Sitting on the couch here and looking out the window at the ocean, waiting for whales to hop by, or a porpoise or something, or
Hop
whatever.
or jump.
Go with it.
Anyways, we'll sign out for now. And thank you for
Joining us.
joining us. Have a wonderful day.